Hello dear children. So let us do another topic in grammar today, subject verb agreement. Now what is subject verb agreement? Actually it means your subject and verb must match or agree in number. Now you all know that we have the subjects in either singular or plural forms. Singular means one person and plural means more than one. Okay, but I and you are exceptions. Even though I and you are singular subjects, we will always use plural verbs with I and you. And if you have a singular subject, then you must use singular verb. Now, what are singular verbs? Whenever we are using a verb with S or ES in the present tense, it will be a singular verb. But the subject will not have S. So that is the difference. Subject when you add S becomes plural, but verb when you add S or ES becomes singular verb. It will be used with a singular subject. So don't use both the S's together. That is the rule you have to keep in mind. So if you, the sentence is the dog barks at every sound he hears. The dog singular barks. So you have barks here at every sound he hears. If you have a plural subject, then you must use a plural verb. The dogs bark. So in the verb, you have no S in the plural form. So at every sound, they hear. Now instead of he, it's they, and it will become hear again. So the basic rule, all of you are familiar now. A singular subject takes a singular verb. The list, but there is a confusion here, the list of items. Now here, what is the subject? That is confusing because you look at items as the subject here, but the subject actually is the list. So the list is a singular subject, so it will be is here. The list of items is on the desk. And if you know that this list is a subject, then you will choose it is for the verb. And if I say the list or the prices of essential commodities, prices of essential commodities have gone up. Have, not has, because prices again is a plural subject. Now the exceptions to this basic rule is the first person pronoun takes a plural verb. I go, I eat, I drive. Okay, I just told you. And the basic form of the verb is used after certain main verbs. Now this you have to see, such as watch, see, hear, feel, help, let and make. Now see this sentence, he watched Ronaldo score the winning goal. He watched, now the main verb is watched here, but this Ronaldo score, he watched him score. Here it will be score only, not scores. So all these verbs, if they are used along with the main verbs, they will be used in the plural form only. So that is again another exception, even with a singular subject. Now let's come to the rule number 1. A subject will come before a phrase beginning with of. Okay, now this is a key rule for understanding subjects. The word of is the culprit. Why? Because you get confused when you see the word of, like a bouquet of yellow roses. Now will it be lend or lends color and fragrance to the room? It will be lend. Why? It will be lend actually, lends. Why? Because bouquet is a collective noun and it is a bouquet of yellow roses. So don't think all the yellow roses are the subject. The subject is still a bouquet, and bouquet is a singular. So you will use lends here, not thinking about the yellow roses. So this of actually is the confusion creator sometimes. Then second rule, two singular subjects connected by or, either, or neither nor. Okay, so in this case, my aunt or my uncle, now anyone actually, so it will be is arriving by train today. Neither Juan or Carmen is available. So with all these either or, neither nor, if there are two singular subjects, you are supposed to use a singular verb. But if it is and, Ram and Sham, then it is natural that it is a plural subject now because there are two. So that you have to use a plural verb there. Rule number 3 here. The verb in an or, either or nor neither sentence agrees with the noun or pronoun closest to it. Now see, when you have a singular as well as a plural subject, in those cases there is a confusion. Neither the plates nor the serving bowl goes on that shelf. Now see here, this is a plural subject, this is a singular subject, this is closest to the verb, so you will see the latter subject. Okay, so the verb with the latter subject will be matching, so you will write goes. But if you shift the subjects, if you write here neither the serving bowl nor the plates go on that shelf, so here plates plural, so it will have go. So this rule can lead to bumps in the road. Now why? Because if I is one of the two or more subjects, it could lead to this odd sentence. Now this is a grammatically correct sentence but awkward to speak, awkward in speech, either in listening or in speaking both. So neither she, my friends, nor I. Now since I is the subject which is the last subject here, there are 3 subjects, neither she, my friends, nor I am going to the festival. This is actually the correct way to say this sentence. So instead of saying such an awkward sentence, we can frame a better sentence by saying she, my friends here, neither she here, instead of that she, my friends and I are not going to the festival. Instead of saying neither she nor I nor my friends like this, we can simply say she, my friends and I are not going to the festival. Though this is also grammatically correct. Okay, so it's not wrong. Only thing is it looks a little awkward when we speak I am along with these 3 subjects. Okay, so this is the rule. Now rule number 4. As a general rule, we use a plural verb with 2 or more subjects. I just told you Ram and Sham go together to see a movie. So it will be go, not goes. A car and a bike are my means of transportation. But again, there is an exception to this rule, bread and butter. Now bread and butter are not too different, though they are 2 different objects, but when we say bread and butter is my favorite breakfast, it is only, not are. Breaking and entering is against the law. Again, these are 2 things together. So it's a compound subject. Rice and curry is my routine lunch. So that is what it's a compound subject. You will take is only as a singular. So breaking and entry and bed and breakfast are compound nouns only. Now, here there is another thing. I, my dad and my stepmom are going to the movies. Okay. Now I, my dad and my stepmom are. Now here again, because there are 3 people, 3 different subjects here. So while not grammatically incorrect per se, it is courtesy to place the pronoun last. Pronoun I is taken first. Pronoun I is actually taken at the first here. Generally we take my dad and my stepmother and I. Pronoun is always used generally afterwards, after the main subjects. So this is also grammatically correct, except but it just looks awkward when we speak that way. So while not grammatically incorrect per se, it is a courtesy to place the pronoun last, except when awkward to do so, shown under rule number 3 above. Just now we just discussed the rule number 3 about neither nor. Okay, so we can change it. Now come to the 5th rule. Sometimes the subject is separated from the verb by such words as along with, as well as, besides, not, etc. Now this creates confusion because these words and phrases are not part of the subject. They are something else along with it. Okay. The politician along with the newsman is expected shortly. Politician along with the newsman becomes actually a plural subject if you think, but don't consider it as a plural subject. just match the verb with the first subject. Whether it is singular or plural, your subject will be matching the first one. Okay? Ignore the second part. So whatever is there after, along with, or as well as, you have to just ignore. Take the first subject, either it is singular or plural, you will have to use the verb accordingly. Okay? So that is the rule. First and second subjects may take the first subject here with, along with, as well as. That is the rule. I can give you one more example of this. The captain, along with his team members, was invited to the party. So the captain is actually a singular person. So you will take was invited. If I say the other way, the team members along with the captain were invited for the party. Okay, so that time it will be were invited, not was. Now parenthesis means the bracketed things. These are not taken as the subject. Okay, so this will be an independent subject here. Joe was always welcome. Now here his trustee must leave this. This is again ignored. You don't have to think that there are two people. Okay, it's not plural, it will be singular only. If this seems awkward, then try rewriting the sentence and write Joe along with his trustee mutt. Even in that way also you can write, still you will use a singular with Joe. Now in the sentences beginning with here or there, the true subject follows the verb. There are. Sentences beginning with there or here, so here are the keys. Though the subject is here, key, the verb is before the subject. The subject is following the verb. Okay, so depends upon the subject here. Don't think that the subject is here only. It can be even following the verb. So here are the keys, here is the key. Both can be correct. It depends on this, singular or plural. There are 4 hurdles to jump. There is a high hurdle to jump. Okay, so depends. Hurdles are, is hurdle. So the word there is a contraction of there is actually leads to bad habits in informal sentences like there is a lot of people here today, because it is very easy to say there is in comparison to there are. But don't make this mistake. With plural you will have to use there are. There are a lot of people here today instead of saying there is a lot of people. Okay. Now the next rule is use a singular verb with distances, periods of time, sums of money. You all know it, which cannot be calculated that way. No, that period of time, 2 months is a big time for you to prepare for your exams. Okay, 3 miles is too far to walk. So this is taken as a total distance only. We are not taking 3 miles are. We will not say, though it is 3 miles, it seems to be a plural word, but still it is a distance, just a distance, an amount. So whenever it's an amount, either in distance or in kgs or in length or money also, it will be is only. 5 years is the maximum sentence for that offense. $10 is a high price to pay. Okay, so here it's you have to use is only, singular subject only. But $10 were scattered on the floor. In this case, the $10 are actually the money which is in $10, in the amount of $10. This time $10 can be the $10 notes. We are referring to $10 note, not as an amount. Okay, so they were scattered on the floor. So you have to remember, just don't mug up that $10 ke saath we have to use that only. No, it has to be in the context. We have to just see what is the context which is it is used in. Now come to this rule number 8 with words like that indicate portions, a lot of, a majority, some, all. So again we are considering them as, again there are 2 things to see here. A lot of pie has disappeared. Now has is always with a singular verb we use. A lot of pies have. Now see, a lot of pie has disappeared means a portion of the pie. Okay, a lot of pies have disappeared means a number of pies have disappeared. So that means that this is actually a plural subject, so it will be having have. This is a singular one, it has. Both have a lot. So don't get confused. With a lot we have to use that. Think first which context it is used in. 50% of the pie has disappeared, means half of the pie. 50% means half of the portion, the amount. Okay, it's 50% of the pies means there were, suppose 100 pies lying on the table, 50% of the pies are missing. Okay, so they have disappeared, means around half of them in number, not in quantity. A third of the city is unemployed. A third of the people. Now city is unemployed because it is showing there's a ratio. But here a third of the people are unemployed because talking about the people. Okay, the number of people here. So again you have to use are. So just look at the sentence, look at its meaning, see the context and then use is or are. All of the pie is gone. Now all of the pie means one single pie, the whole of it has gone. All of the pies are gone means all the pies. Maybe there were 10 in number, maybe there were 8 in number. So all of the pies are gone. Some of the pie is missing, some of the pies are missing. Okay, same thing. Okay, so you have to just keep in mind, they can be used with both singular and plural. You have to look at the meaning. With collective nouns such as group, jury, family, audience, population, the verb might be singular or plural again. Think again depending on the writer's intent or the context in which he is talking. Now all of my family has arrived or have arrived. Both can be used. All of my family, my whole family together, if you talk about, it can be used as has, or even as family members if you talk about, it can be have also. Most of the jury is here or are here. Now jury means what? A group of judges sitting together to decide a case. Now in this case, if the jury is together, working together as a unit, as a team, you will use is. If the jury are divided in their opinion, that means the jury members themselves are not in agreement, the jury members, then it will be are. Though it's a collective noun, but both ways it can be used, is or are, depending upon the intent of the writer. A third of the population was not in favor or were not in favor of the bill. Here the population is telling about the country's population that way. Here the population is telling about the number of people that way. Okay, so it can be were or was also here. Same thing is with a committee. The committee sat for the meeting, suppose. So the committee has decided about the bill. The committee has decided, okay, for the bill, means they are going in support of the bill. But if the committee is divided, means the committee members had an argument over the bill, you will write the committee were arguing over the bill. It will be were arguing, plural. You will just take plural in that case. Okay. So that's all. Major uses I have already told you. You can just see the last note. Anyone who uses a plural verb with a collective noun must take care to be accurate and also consistent. Now this is one thing you have to keep in mind. When you are using a jury or committee word and you are using is, suppose, as a singular, you have to use it as a singular in the following, in the whole sentence. You cannot use it like this, like the staff, suppose the staff is deciding how they want to vote. Now in this sentence, the staff is, okay, and here how they want. Now here you have taken it as a singular subject, but when you write the other sentence, the other part of the sentence, here you have written they. So this becomes wrong. This is wrong. The staff is deciding how it wants to vote. Otherwise, what you can do is the staff are deciding how they want to vote. Means the whole staff members, all the staff members. Okay. So if you take it as a collective noun, you have to just be careful that you have to use the following subject and the verb also in the same manner. You cannot use one side is as a singular and one side as a plural. Both things should be in consistency, okay, like they should be consistent. Okay, so rewriting such sentences is recommended whenever possible. So that's all for subject verb agreement. We'll have some more exercises in my next class. Thank you.